Thank you for tuning in to Timeless Limitless. Please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to like and share. In today's episode, we're talking to a black business owner named Malcolm Cooper, who owns a local barber supply store named Barber's Haven.
Hi guys, my name's Malcolm. I appreciate the opportunity to tell my story and to just put what I've done out there so far. I'm 35, born in Fort Worth, was adopted, raised out here in New Mexico. Wound up getting into some issues, legal trouble. So at 18, when I got in trouble, my job opportunity was limited. I made sure to pave my own avenue. I got my barber's license in 2008 when I was 22. I started working at a Better You. Then I went to start working in a basement barbers in Rio Rancho. Decided, to do my own thing. Opened up in the cut off of San Mateo and Catherine. Had that from 14 until 19. Opened this business up in 18. Just saw a void that was there and wanted to fill that void. Barbers, the community was growing as far as barbershops and the need for product on demand and not having to wait days or sometimes weeks to get your clippers. And so I wanted to fill that void because Sally's and the supply stores that were here didn't really offer a variety.
What differentiates you between you and Sally's?
I'm geared towards barbers. Sally's is more beauty. You go in there and it's makeup and nail polish and hair colors and dyes and this and that. And I'm solely more geared towards barbers. So I have a real big variety of clippers, the blades, straight razors, aftershaves, skincare products for men, hair care products for men, beard care products. You can see where the direction is.
So you said you got your barber's license back in the day. What was that process?
It was a great process. It was the best investment in myself that I could have made. Some people are afraid to invest in themselves, when it comes to having to spend that money for school or for that training for the profession you're already doing. I mean, it's intimidating, but sometimes it's just an investment in yourself. And in the long run, you're the only person that's gonna pay you back. And so it's something that's gonna pay you back. So it's worth doing.
How long is the process and where?
Barber school was for me 16 months because I was working. It's an 8-month program, 1,200 hours, full time. I went to a Better You with Patrick Jenkins, who's still operating his school right down the street here on Manal.
Black owned?
Oh yeah, black owned business, always supported me. I actually reopened his old Better You shop, and that was in the cut there, and So he was a great mentor that I had, because like I said, I never cut hair a day in my life. I never thought I'd be a barber, but working at those dead-end jobs, making $175 a week, was just gearing me to go right back down the path that got me in trouble in the first place. So I definitely was trying to avoid that. So that's why I said, let me just bite this bullet and do this school and be broke and pay myself off. Because if I'm going to be broke, at least I'm broke for myself in the end of the day. Instead of being broke, still working for somebody,
Why barber school instead of something else? Like what led you in that direction?
Because barbering, I can't even tell you what led me, man. I was sitting at home one night at my mom's and 22, 20, basically, making $175 a week and was like, man, I'm never going to get anywhere doing this. And I saw a commercial for it. I said, man, I'm going to try it. Tried it, had a little natural knack for it, and said, I'm going to run with it. That was it. Semi-truck driving I thought about, but then I have too much road rage. I couldn't do it,
So when you opened up this supply store, what was that process? Like, how did you start doing that?
Man, I just, put my feelers out there, started saving money, applied for a business line of credit through the barbershop, just started buying product third party. Found a location, thought it was my location. When I met the guy, it turned out he sprung a whole new door of issues that my finances weren't matching up, and he didn't know if it was going to be a profitable business. He didn't want someone in there that's just going to have to move out after a year. And first he promised me a year, then he rejected it, and so I wound up finding a place across the street which was much better, fits my need way better. It's great. And it was just a matter of getting product, getting sales, And then after so long of being in business and showing that my store does X amount every year, then reaching out to the bigger companies so I can get a direct contract instead of having to buy things third party like I was going through Amazon or eBay or, this other local barber supply store or supply guy, to get gels and stuff like that. I mean, so eventually you can work your way up to being able to meet the distributors in person and then getting those wholesale prices even better.
When you started cutting hair and you started getting your own shop, like what was the process of getting your own shop and getting that started?
Man, that was easy. It was about saving money. I mean, I was able to do it with $5,000, finding a building in a good location and getting some furniture in there. I mean, luckily for me, I was able to get a building that was already a well-known barbershop. That's what it was. So I was having people that would come in that were there when I first started cutting hair in 2010, and here we are in 2014, and I'm owning it, and they're coming in like, oh man, I remember you used to work here back in '09. You would be here on weekends. Or then there's people who are like, oh, I used to come here in the '70s. Like, man, come on, it's been there since the '70s, and yeah. And finding a good team to work with you, people that are motivated like you, because you'll find a lot of barbers when you try to bring them onto the shop. You're the owner. You've put in the hard work. You've put in the days and nights and building your clientele and establishing, your product line if you have it and all of that stuff. And a lot of the barbers who come in and they see how you're operating, and like, hey, yeah, maybe I do get to come in or leave a little early, or, during the day I'm in and out, but my schedule is kind of flexible because I've set it up that way, but I put in the work. So they come in thinking that they're going to have that immediately. And it's not the case. And so, you get a lot of guys who are either don't show up, lazy, it's like a competition. And it's not. It's just you're trying to build up your shop. And they fail to realize that it's not like a competition, because even that one bad barber in there could hurt your whole shop. Because a person drives by and they get a bad haircut, it's not so-and-so in that shop messed me up. It's they messed me up in that shop. Or it's, oh, they're never there. And it's not even you necessarily, because you're always there. It's whoever they've come to see 2-3 times who haven't been there. So it's important to make sure you find people that are like-minded and driven, because this is, in the end, you're working for yourself as a barber. Even if you are working at someone's shop and paying the man booth rent, you're still working for yourself, because you are your product, your hands, what you're putting out. And if you're not there to give it to people, they're going to go somewhere else. You might do a better job than that person they're going to, but in the end of the day, cutting hair is only like 25% of this business. Are you consistent? Are you a likable person? Are you clean? Those are all big factors in being a barber.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially the part about being clean. It's a sanitary type business.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they teach you in barbers.
Yeah, that's one of the big topics, sanitation. You cut someone, you're sweeping in between cuts. What are you doing?
So when you was getting into your business, what were some of the pitfalls you had to deal with opening up your business?
Man, as far as the barbershop, I really didn't encounter any. It was really smooth sailing. When doing this, like I said, I met the one guy and I had an issue trying to get some contracts with the other distributors. Ran into some issues when they wanted to say it was because I wasn't established enough, but they were joking because they found my personal record online and not the business's information. But it was just, little stuff like that. But it's all stuff that was like a door closed, but another one open, and I can't complain, because every time that other door opened, it's been something 10 times better than what I was even looking for. Working with your barbershop, you take on business partners thinking that things are going to go smooth, and then you wind up realizing you're the one carrying all the weight. And that's not necessarily a partnership, you know what I mean? No one should be, and then they want to take the credit for doing everything. It's like, you can't do that, it's like, it's a 50-50 thing. We should be 50-50. There should be no late bills on your end. When bills are due, bills are due. It's just, you got to find someone that's motivated like you. And if you can't, there's nothing wrong with doing it on your own, but there's a big difference between being a boss and being a leader. You know what I mean? A boss is going to sit back and bark orders, but a leader is going to try to show people how to achieve what they've accomplished in life. And that's all only way I've ever tried to strive, is to be a leader. Like, hey man, I wouldn't ask you to do nothing that I wouldn't do. And in fact, I'm going to ask you to do less than I'm doing because I'm always going to put forth that little more effort because this is mine. So yeah, I'll be here a half an hour or an hour earlier. So if you come 30 minutes early, cool. You come 15 minutes early, cool. You know, you leave, I'll leave about 30, 45 minutes late. If you leave right around then, cool. That's great. But if not, you know, you see what I'm doing. You know, I've had plenty of instances where bums defecated on my building, you know, like I wouldn't ask my barber to go clean it up, but I sure went out there and cleaned it up. You know, I didn't hesitate, I didn't complain, got down there and did it, and then talked a whole bunch of mess when I found out who was on camera, who did it, and got on his helmet about it. It's like you got to be able to lead. I'm not barking telling, hey, go out there and clean that up, you know, or you need to do this, you need to do that. It's like, nah, man, it's like as a leader, you try to get people around you who you all can help each other eat. Because like I tell them, man, if I'm doing good, you guys are doing good. If you're doing good, I'm doing great, you know?
And in the sense of being a leader and having people around you that have the same type of drive and motivation as you, how important is it to maybe ask for help or maybe the community around you and support them so they can support you?
Yeah, man, that's really important. The community is all you have. And whether that be the community as, like, you know, the black community if you're asking for help, or your community, which is like your family and friends, or even like the community where you're doing business. Like in my strip mall here, I try to keep the peace amongst all the tenants I got here. So when I see an issue here on the property, I take care of it, you know, and I also, you know, look out for the people that, like family, you make sure you look out for them, you know, and treat them right, because those are the people that are supporting you. And it's important to be able to ask for help, because when you try to do it all on your own, and I know everyone loves to say they got it on their own, no handouts, and none of this and none of that, when in reality, most people who did do it had a bunch of help, you know, and it's a big support system that brought all these people to where they're at. Like, there's not one person that said, I went out there and did all of this work all by myself. I didn't have a single handout. I didn't have a single person to guide me. I made my own money. I did it all. Like, nah. Like, first of all, man, you had to go and work for someone to make that money, and that's a person that you probably use as a reference to go and apply for that business loan that you got with your name. But still, that person was able to give you a good reference because you did a good job for him, and he helped you. You know, I mean, something that is that small is help, but that's help that can help you get bigger and better places. But people fail to realize that. You know, help comes in different. Help isn't always someone saying, "Oh, here's $100,000. Go ahead and make it happen." Like, yeah, that would be great help, and not everyone has that kind of help. Anybody out there that has a business that says, "I did it on my own. I didn't need no help. I did it," would say, "Man, if someone came and offered me $100,000, I would take it now." You know, shoot, man, I'll take it 10 times over. You know, shoot, just like help, and that help comes in different ways. Even criticism, you know. That comes in different ways, and you got to always be receptive to it.
When it comes to getting a business started, how important is having good credit?
It's extremely important. I mean, even getting deals with these distributors, they do a credit check, because they might offer you net 30. That's where they give you 30 days to pay, and if you have bad credit, they're not going to do that for you. So then you're always just going to be buying out of pocket. You know, which sometimes it's nice to be able to put a $5,000 order in and not have to pay it back for a month, and it comes in a week. You know, I mean, it's for anything, even to grow your business. Because yeah, you can sit there and say, "Oh, I'm going to save my money," but saving it always takes forever. Doesn't matter how good your business is doing, you always got expenses. And if it's a one-income house, like your business is what takes care of the business and also your home, you got to be kidding me to tell me you're going to be able to save money that fast, because you're paying for double everything. Rent, mortgage, 2 gas, 2 electric, internet, phone, you know, groceries in the house, something to eat it here at work, cleaning supplies, insurance. I mean, it all compounds. And at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you might be able to put up $10,000 in a year, but you might need $100,000 to accomplish this. So yeah, setting yourself a 10-year goal and saying, hey, in 10 years, I want to be able to have this accomplished. Yeah, work for it. But if someone came along and said, hey, you know, I see you've been doing good with your payments on this property and your house, and you have a credit score of this, we can go ahead and give you, you know, $150,000 right now, and you pay that back in 30 years. and that gets your business started that you really want to do, the growth that you need, you're going to do it. And that's why it's important to make sure that credit. I mean, it doesn't even matter how small it is. Something as little as that $30 cable or $30 internet or water bill that's left on your credit from some long time ago can be dinging your credit. And that's all you need to do to clean it up, and then start doing actual credit transactions, and you can build. That's what was my issue. I had like a 5 something because I never had credit. I was always a cash out king. It was like from P&M on my credit. It was like for $40 I paid it, and then got a little secured credit card for $300. If I was going to the store, I had the money to buy it, I would use my credit card. Yeah, and I pay that off at the end of the month. And man, 6 months, man, my credit jumped way up. And then in like 9 months after doing it, I got a credit line of like $6,500. So it was great. So it's real important. I mean, I just used that credit line. I just bought a whole bunch of supplies, man. But it was great.
With that, you got the $6,500, and when you run out of that $6,500 and you get that income back, we got to talk about how important it is to reinvest that in your company.
Yeah, don't get the money back and just go buying a whole bunch of dumb stuff. You want to get it back and use it for the business. You don't want to make $100 in the business and then run and go to Papa Do's and spend $75 on lunch. You want to make that $100. Yeah, put $25 into a savings account for the business and spend $75 on the merchandise. I mean, that's what I do. Any clipper I sell, if I sell one of it that day, I'm on the phone and I'm ordering 2 of them the next day. Regardless of how annoyed my little distributor might get with that, be like, man, wait till the end of the week, we'll run at the end of the week then, but at the same time, it's like, you got to reinvest into the company. It's not about just selling in. You're like, oh yeah, the business got 90,000 in it. We're going to go and blow it on. Nah, you have got to put the money back into the business. You've got to have a nest egg in case something happens. You want to be able to ensure that you can keep the business afloat. I mean, there were so many people closed their business during COVID because they really didn't have any kind of funds, no extra investments. Like, yeah, I had to sell some stock when COVID hit, but it was able to keep the business going, which in turn is money in the bank, because with this here, this is a money printing machine, and you're just making money. So you got to keep it afloat,
I'm doing this basically to talk about the Black community, Black business owners, and what we can do to further our dollar. So statistics show that the Black dollar only stays in our community for about 6 hours. Other communities, Asian community, Jewish community, their dollar circulates for almost a month. So how can we fix that discrepancy, that disparity?
Man, first it's just about coming together as a community, and it's not like crabs in a bucket. Just because you see one brother doing it doesn't necessarily mean that you knock him and round up a group of haters to knock what he's doing because you don't support it, or you knock it, hate it, and then try to go and emulate it on the backside with your little group of people that you've also grown to dislike this person for whatever reason. I mean, it's about being smart. It's about not spending money because what you see on television as what is considered being black. It's about not doing that. There's no reason to go and spend all that money on Jordans when them shoes aren't even comfortable. They're not comfortable. Everyone knows they're not comfortable. It's just a style thing. You want to look fly. Why? Because Young Dolph was rapping about J's. You got to invest in the people to see the growth of the people. Like, why do you think the mall and these people that are selling shoes are doing so well? Because that's what everyone's investing in the community. And if you went, instead of doing that, I mean, we might not know a African shoemaker, but you might know a young black dude that owns a business that he's selling shoes at. Go and support him locally instead of going in there and commenting on, oh, are these used? Why is this fun? And then knocking him because you might have gone in there and you didn't like what you saw, and so you deter everybody from shopping there. And it's about pooling your money together. If you have a good idea, but it might be out of your reach, talk to a few other guys that, say, hey, I found this strip mall for sale. This $500,000. I can get approved for 200. But if I had another 2 investors, we have 6 properties here. That's, three of us. We each can have two business fronts here. Maybe we rent them to some people, or we want to start our own business in here. And we have the opportunity to do that. But we can own this. We're not paying rent. We're not building up someone else's, equity in their property. We're doing it for ourselves. And then, you in return, you get people shopping there with you, and you're helping feed 3 other families. 2 other families. It takes a lot of work, but I mean, it's like I don't think it's been instilled in us. It's just too many people from growing up have been told like, oh, this is what you gotta look like. This is what you gotta spend money on. This is you. It's never really. They don't talk about community. I mean, in some black communities they talk about community, but then it's only like the poor rural ones. Some people get some money and they just burn out. It's like, I'm not worrying about them.
Also, a big thing, I love what you said, because there's a lot of good points in what you said. Maybe it's about awareness, about maybe being aware of these black-owned businesses so we can spend our dollars in.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's something where you haven't heard of us.
Yeah.
To be able to have that awareness and come together as a group.
Yeah, it is. It would be nice, People always have their reservations of dealing with people. But in the end of the day, you got to see what they're doing in the end of the day. Yeah, they might have had some bumps along the road, but are they still here? Are they still standing? Are they still striving to accomplish their goals? Yeah, and if they are, then that's somebody that you think you would want to invest in, and you would want to try to keep it in the black community. Even when you see talent or opportunity in someone that is in the middle of their struggle, and that's when it's time to reach in and say, man, I see what you can offer, your potential, and give them a helping hand. Too many people would love to just sit back and take pictures and laugh at them, and then post them on the internet instead of reaching out and helping them. And that's helping them without having your girl behind you, your homeboy, recording you helping him too. Just get out there and help somebody, you do what you can in the situation that you're given. Like, I'm here, I could give my time and give free haircuts and do that, but, I don't necessarily do that all the time anymore. I used to. But, I try to help out in other ways where I sponsor the little football teams and, students graduate, give them discounts on their stuff, so it's about, like you said, creating awareness, and when people know you're out there and you're doing positive things, people will come try to bring it together.
So, driving business for your company, what's the best way that you do that?
I try to offer an honest, professional opinion. I sell plenty of competitive stuff, and I tell the truth about it. Even if I'm doing all this out of my own dollars, so I'm buying the product and then I'm reselling it. So sometimes my money's sitting on the shelf for 6 months because I bought something that's not good. And I tell people, hey, they come in like, I saw this on the internet, and I'm like, man, yeah, I have it, but I'm not gonna lie to you, man, it's not very good. I would go this route. And yeah, it's still my money coming back to me, but and it might be a cheaper product, but it's about being honest, transparent with your customers, and just giving people a reason to shop with you. You got to fill that void. You can't be. That was a real big thing about me opening this. I was looking at moving the barbershop or opening up a second barbershop, and I kept saying well, why would I compete, man? There's every 3 months I see there's 2 barbershops open and 1 is closed. It's like, why am I going to compete with that? Why wouldn't I do something that they need, that everybody needs, that's going to keep them coming to me? Because now I don't even got to worry about fighting for haircuts, which is $20. Now I'm a store, and any barber can come here, and that's one reason I didn't name it In the Cut Barber Supply. I named it something neutral, Barber's Haven, because if you are a barbershop owner and you have your name of your barbershop on the supply store, you got people who are like, oh, I ain't shopping at that barbershop, man, bump them over at that shop. That's why they still go to Sally's. I have people that have barbershops right next door to Sally's, and they still come here, and shop because, I'm filling that void. You go to Sally's, their barber issue section is a 2x3 little area. It's nothing, and the store is 1,500 square feet. I mean, I was really putting a dent in, and they're offering barbers 10% off to say that they came here instead of coming to Barber's Haven. So I was like, yeah, they know, but they'll tell you I can order it, but I got it today. And that's a big driving factor in business, is having it. That's why COVID was hard, man, because a lot of people weren't able to get their hands on products and keep it. But so I was lucky.
With the type of things that you're trying to do in the future, how do you incorporate your shop in that, and what exactly do you want to accomplish in the next 10 years?
Setting goals is real important, and in the next 10 years, I would hope to be franchised. I've reached my 5-year goal of being open and getting my little delivery truck started, and so I'm going to be doing that on the west side. So I'm thinking, in the next 10 years, I'm hoping to try to get this store franchised, or at least have 2 more locations in or around Albuquerque, and just continue to grow the business and the brand of Barber's Haven. It's something that a lot of barbers want to do, but they don't necessarily have the resources, the ability to open up a second storefront. And so my business would basically fill that void again, because a lot of barbers are educated and they want to be able to promote their business, but they want to be able to cut hair still while selling product. And a lot of these places will not allow you to own a active barbershop and do that. So, as far as being like Barber Haven, using the Barber Haven franchise, they would be able to operate as a barbershop on a small scale while still selling supplies, so they can reach a quota every year. They got to do a certain amount a year just in order to make it worth my time to allow someone to use my name across the country.
Oh, with the deliveries, how long have you been doing that? How did you start doing that?
Man, well, we are in the process of getting this started. I mean, I'm waiting on the bare minimum now, just basically wrapping the truck and finishing the inside up. But I had a store on the west side during COVID. That area was just not a very good area. We wound up having to shut that store down in 21. But I realized the west side, you need multiple stores in order to get the west side, because the west side runs, from Paseo all the way down to, they consider Coors not even all the west side now, Unser, all of that. So I mean, to have one store for that whole area is really hard. So what I'm doing is I'm making a truck. It looks like basically a Matco tool truck. You can walk up inside of it, have a selection of tools in front of you, little storage cabinets where they'll be. The young woman that was here helping during COVID time, she was running here, so she's going to drive it. And we're basically going to, keep it on the west side, so she'll be able to drive Rio Rancho, hit the shops, west side, hit the shops, more of the central freeway west side area, and then down to the South Valley and up into the Unser and all of that. And so, yeah, it's a nice, again, to fill a void. I mean, you have some people that do that now, but again, they're only coming with certain items, gels and tangible stuff, neck strips, aftershaves. I'm coming with, the clippers, the razors, the capes, like everything that you need. Basically, the store is going to come to you. Okay. When established routes, I'm going to get my little tablet and have the route finder and make a little route for all the barbershops in that area. Because, I figure if she can hit about 10 to 20 barbershops a day, if she's spending 30 minutes a day, at 10 barbershops, you're doing like 5 hours, So, but if she's only there for 10 minutes at some shops, because some people might not want nothing. So if she puts a $20, 20 barbershops on her roster, start from the last one she finished at, and move on down the way, I feel like it'll be pretty good. Because you figure if you can hit 10 barbershops a day, 12 barbershops a day, and $100 each shop, you do the math. And 5 days a week, that's good. No, the overhead is just basic. The thing that's nice about that, it's like you pay the one-time big chunk of money to get the truck, to get it remodeled, and then everything is basically gas and insurance and paying your employee. So you're looking at, after you're paying the truck, and you're looking at an overhead of, with the employee of maybe about $2,000 a month. with the insurance and gas and everything, it does real well on fuel. I mean, I was able to get the truck. I buy it secondhand, $5,000. Find a dude who I know that does the inside work. I think I'm in it right now for under 10,000 still.
Yeah. When it comes to maybe this spot in particular, is there anything else you guys want to do to expand? Or?
Here, I mean, at this spot here, I mean, there's nothing really more I could do to expand, man. It's just about keeping the inventory on the shelves, and keeping people giving people what they want, what they need, what they ask for, what they don't ask for but know they still need, and just kind of just tightening it up. I mean, yeah, I'm probably gonna have to put some more shelves in somewhere so I can get some stuff up on some walls or something, because my inventory is just booming. And I mean, I've been trying to order a little bit more for the truck, so I'm sure that things will kind of clean up as soon as the truck is fully up and running and I got stuff on it, and so that'll be helpful. But as of now, yeah, I'm we're good, we're good. We're just trying to maintain, still working with the DVR with the state, so
would you want to collaborate with any other type of business?
Man, as far as with the barbershop, probably not with this, what I'm doing here. It's just, real hard. But as far as getting involved in other business ventures, I'm all for it. Me and my buddy, we do the auto sales. And so, if it's profitable and I'm working with people that got sense, where it's not a hassle, it's easy, because I mean, everyone's trying to make that passive, easy income, right? And if it's stressing you out, it's not worth it for me anymore. There's no money is worth the stress of my sanity, man. No money is worth my stress level raising, or none of that. So if it's causing me bad energy, stress, it put me in any kind of predicament that I don't want to be in, I'm not even going to involve myself in it. I've learned my lesson. Been there, done that. Stresses do come along with owning a business, but in the end of the day, it's not a stress that can't be handled easily, and it's not a stress that, you feel like you're just going to sleep with your stomach turning every night because you're worried about what's going to come of it. It's okay, some bums broke in and broke my window. We get it fixed. Put the alarm on. What more can you do? You got someone stealing. Well, you put cameras inside. Be more observant. Those are the stresses I'm willing to deal with.
If there was somebody coming to you for advice on opening a business, on somebody that wants to do barbershop or maybe something else, what kind of advice would you give them?
Do it. Don't listen to anybody but you. You can ask somebody's opinion, but in the end of the day, make sure that's a person that has your best interests at heart and that does truly support you. Because, I mean, you could be with people that are they love you, and they could be I had an ex, yeah, we were together forever, but she'd always hold me back. I'd want to try to do this venture, and she'd always kind of talk me out of it and talk me into yeah, the payout is less and it's easier, you don't have to necessarily work as hard. Nah, don't worry about it. No, you want to be people that are motivating you, that are driving you, that are pushing you to do better, that are no, I want to do this, and go for it. Yeah, do they voice concerns? Sure, because that's what people do who are in your corner. They're going to say, well, have you thought about this? You lay it down for them, and they're shoot, go for it. That's what you need to do, is just go for it, because that one opportunity that you said, oh, I'm not going to do it, I'm afraid, could be that one where you're damn, man, that that was $1 million idea, and all you had to do was just put $500 and spend a month of your time doing it, and you didn't want to do it. And now look at your dude who did it. This dude made $1 million, and you're just I had the opportunity, Now it doesn't mean go and just throw your money into any opportunity, but something that you truly believe in and that you know about. There shouldn't be any kind of hesitation to invest in yourself, your future.
So I mean, let's talk about family and how important that is to building your company and why you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? What's the importance of family to you?
Real important, man. If you got a family that loves you and supports you, you got kids that are looking up to you, it's important to show them what you're willing to sacrifice for them, to show them what life is truly about, and the reward of, seeing the smile on their faces when you do little things for them, like get them new beds or taking them to the mall and let them get some new little jeans or whatever. I mean, letting your wife go and getting her hair done or taking her to a spa and hanging out with her for the weekend. I mean, it's important to invest in the people that you're going to be spending all your time with. And I mean, and it's not necessarily to say, like, don't worry about your parents, but in a sense, it's like your parents are done. You're an adult now. Like, it's not your job as an adult to look after your parents. You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes if you're looking at your parents, you're focusing on your past when you should really be focusing on your present, which is your wife, and the future, which is your kids. Because those are the ones that are going to be here. Your parents have lived their life. They've raised you. You enjoy them. You spend time with them. You help them with what you can, but you shouldn't lose focus on what you have right here. You know what I mean? Because too many people are like, oh, well, I can't do that because my mama, my dad. And then it's like, but you got wife and kids, and like you're putting them on the back burner because you're doing all of this stuff, or you're like not making the moves because you're hesitant because your mom is always worried about what the choices you're making and doesn't want to necessarily support you. So you're like, oh, I'm not going to take that leap, babe, because my mom said, like, nah, that doesn't make sense.
So, I mean, as a business owner, man, what are like the top 3 things that are most important to you?
As a business owner, the top 3 things that are important to me is just ensuring that I have products here, making sure the bills are paid, and making sure I have a happy customer base, because without those 3 things, I won't even have a business here to run.
So, I mean, if you're going to start a business, like we were touching on earlier, type of advice would be to somebody that's starting up a business. What are maybe 3 things that you tell them that they need to look out for?
Starting a business, they just need to ensure that they don't get bamboozled, because there's plenty of people out there that are trying to take advantage of you by offering this advertisement or that or this or that. And also to make sure that you take care of them, pay them taxes, because it's real. That's the thing that's easy to overlook. Get the money in, you see how much tax you collected. That should go into a separate account at the end of every day. And at the end of the month, then you just transfer right over to the state, because you owe it and they're going to want it, and it's best to just avoid any kind of issue with them. And 3, make sure you're doing something that there's not an abundance. Like, you might have a great idea, but if there's 15 of those, do you really think it's the best time to try to tackle it in that area? Maybe that might be the time that you say, hey, I should pack up and move. I see that there's an opportunity, if there's nothing over here in this area like that, let me start off somewhere. If you have the ability to, but don't try to just come and hang out in a saturated area and think and then be mad because your business isn't doing what you thought your idea would do. Location is everything, man. When I first started doing this, I really thought about who was I competing against, and I figured there's not really much as far as competition, because it's Sally's, it's State Beauty Supply, but at the end of the day, neither one of those people are carrying the variety of clippers, capes, and all that. Yeah, they might be able to outmatch me on gels and little stuff like that, but I'm carrying a bigger variety of aftershaves and stuff like that. So I mean, and then it's like, am I competing online? Yeah and no, because a lot of people want it today. They need it now. If I'm a barber and I drop my clippers and my blade breaks, I don't really want to I can't afford to wait 2 days for shipping for it to come. Right. I need it today so I can start making money again.
Filling that void, seeing a need and just going for it. Okay. How much does it take to get your barber's license?
Man. When I went, it was 8,000. But now I've heard it's upwards of 15 to 16. No.
So they double that.
Yeah, I think Albuquerque Barber College might be 9. I'm not sure. 95, 10. I'm not sure. I know I've had plenty of people, but a lot of these guys are going to Olympia and places like that. But I know Pat's accredited now, so he has the federal financial aid available.
Oh, okay. And how many hours is it? How long does it take?
1,200 hours.
Scale that down to like months. How long is it?
Between 7 and 8 months if you go full time. For me, it took me 16 because I was working.
Okay.
Because you're not making any money up in there. If you're doing 20 haircuts, you're leaving with $40 maybe. Probably not even that. Maybe $30 on a good day. On tips, man. And most of them, I mean, the haircuts are like, well, when I was doing it, the haircuts were like $5.99. So after tax, all I know it was like $6.99. After tax, it was $7.47, and they would pay with a 10, and that was your change. They're like, here you go.
That's what we were talking about earlier. You got to invest in yourself.
Yeah, it's an investment in yourself. I mean, it's hard. And yeah, it might suck. You might have a messed up living situation that you got to endure, or you might have, a job and you're just exhausted during the day. Like, yeah, you might have to really stop doing certain things, but at the end of the day, it's a payment for you to have an easier tomorrow, right? What you're doing today should make your tomorrow easier. It shouldn't make tomorrow harder. That's for damn sure. It should definitely make your tomorrow easier.